There's a discipline in their lives. There's a reward in their own work. There is a passion we feel that is expressed in the way that's very individual for that person.
The wind began to switch, the house to pitch, and suddenly the hinges started to unhitch. Just then,
Beth Brostrom owns and manages Music Square in Penn Central Mall. She and 6 other instructors teach private music lessons to students of all ages. Beth herself teaches piano and guitar.
My favorite to teach is guitar. It seems like it's more of a soul instrument. More of the personality comes out of the individual when we take up guitar lessons.
Beth has always loved music. It's been a part of her life since she was a child. But if you'd asked her 30 years ago if she wanted to teach, she'd say she never considered it. It wasn't until a message from God did she realize her path in life.
we're keeping the baby.
Beth started her music career when she was 8 years old. She took piano lessons for 5 years and started accompanying others for contests or recitals. Even though she enjoyed playing the piano, she never wanted to teach.
When it was time to pick a career in my life, most people thought I was going to be a music teacher. But I didn't see myself in a school situation teaching music, so I went into business because I do enjoy record keeping, accounting, and so forth.
While attending the American College of Business in Des Moines, Beth continued her music training for fun.
I just explored different classes that could enhance my own piano playing.
After college, Beth returned to Oskaloosa and married Randy Brostrom, a local farmer. They had 3 daughters, Kara, Renee, and Haley. She started teaching piano lessons at her house for a little extra money. It wasn't until the farm crisis in the 1980s that Beth realized her talents were worth something more.
I remember being quite restless about how am I going to help this family and bring in some income, and I did a lot of praying about it, and one restless night in May, the wind just was as restless as I was sleeping. I heard a voice, and I do believe it was God's voice, and it wasn't "thou shalt pick yourself up," and it was instead, in common words, it was find a business setting in Oskaloosa and teach from there. And it was such a strong voice that I remember nudging my husband saying, "Did you hear that?" But he hadn't heard that.
One day later, Beth was downtown looking for space to teach lessons. She thought the old KISS FM radio booth in Penn Central Mall would be perfect, and Music Square was born.
I said, could I teach piano lessons out of that room for only a certain amount of X dollars, because I knew I needed to survive. And they didn't quite know what to do with the request, and so I didn't hear from them for about a week, and then they called me and said, well, we think it's a good idea. You will bring mall traffic in with your students' families, and yes, you may go ahead.
After 3 years teaching at that studio, Beth found she had a waiting list. Her studio space was being demolished to expand the Dee's Hallmark store, which is now where Aeroquick is in the mall. She moved to a space with 2 rooms on the east side of the mall. A few years later, Beth needed more rooms again.
We seemed to expand as I heard the public calling in asking what instruments we teach. And when I got enough requests for a certain instrument, then I would pursue a teacher.
Now Beth has 6 rooms and employs 6 other teachers from around the area. One of their goals is to prepare students for further education in music.
We have compiled a list of careers in music that once you know the music language, you're able to explore easily.
They also want to help provide accompanists here in Oskaloosa.
We make sure we expose all kinds of music to them, and we find that the most need out there right now are church musicians. We feel that's part of our mission too, is to get those musicians out there in those areas.
Managing a studio with so many teachers has its benefits.
We learn from each other, or if we have a question about the student, we can just have a teacher step in and get their opinion on the hand position or notation in the music that we have questions about.
However, it's not always easy.
I suppose the most challenging part of running this business is scheduling. But it seems like when you get in the football season, then you have some dropping out, and you get into basketball season, and the football players come back in, and the basketball players go out. It's like putting puzzle pieces together, and it works itself out within a week or two.
Beth does not discourage students from participating in sports.
We want our students to, when they reach junior high age especially, to try the sports. And we have no problem with that, and have them resume lessons when they can, even if it's just the summer.
In fact, she hopes they will do both.
We often enhance their abilities by giving private lessons. We try to keep a close account of the levels that are being taught at certain grades in our school, and we match that age here. We have a good connection with the orchestra teacher here in town and the middle school teacher guiding us on what's expected of percussion students.